In this video, I'm talking about finding hobby fulfillment. Hello AOS fans, Robin here. Yes, I'm back with another video. And this one's a very personal video, I suppose. I haven't done one of these for a while. And it's about finding hobby fulfillment. I don't know about you, but sort of after Christmas, January time, I suppose I look at what I'm doing, look at what happened in the previous year or so, what I didn't enjoy, what I did enjoy, and try and think about, well, how am I going to change things up for the new year? I guess a lot of us do that. That's why New Year's resolutions exist. And I didn't really have any major resolutions. I wanted to paint a Marvel Crisis Protocol miniature. Always have one of those on my table whenever I'm painting, because I've bought a few and I never quite get them to the table. But thinking about the games I was playing, and you may have noticed from the content we've been putting out, Pete and I have been struggling a little bit with what to play. Underworlds has lost some of its luster after 4 years. We've tried some Kill Team, we've tried some stuff from Mantic, but nothing is really grabbing us and really making us think, yes, we really want to play this. I've been trying to play some more board games, which has been really good fun actually. I've really enjoyed that. But I've been trying to work out, coming out of COVID, trying to work out what it is that I want to do with my hobby life, my hobby time. It was always precious for time, and I'm a bit of a magpie. I'm always flipping from one thing to the other and never quite getting stuck into one thing. So I've been trying to think about what I can do to have a more fulfilled hobby time, because I have to say I've been feeling a little bit, a little bit lackluster about not just Underworlds, but most things, about just what is it that I want to do. It has been a tough few years. On the one hand, in some ways hobby was never easy. I've really got into painting because there was literally nowhere for me to go. But on the other hand, it's been really hard to play games, and we played a lot of Underworlds, and as I said, Underworlds has kind of stopped being a source of fun for me. I actually get quite stressed by it now. All the deck building, I get stressed when you build a rubbish deck, and then I suppose because it seems to me that a lot of the people who watch our videos or want Underworld's content, they want the top competitive meta, they want good play all the time. I actually find the pressure of that really hard, and so actually playing Underworld has become a lot less fun, which is a bit of a problem when you're trying to make content for it, because I think part of making content is it's using up my spare time, and I want to have fun with it. So I've been trying to find other things to play that I enjoy. As a result, though, the channel, Agents of Sigmar, has lost a bit of its direction, and that's reflected in our viewing figures, and it's also reflected in our Patreon, which I absolutely love our Patreon, and thank you to everybody who's ever supported us on there, because it's been wonderful, and I'm really proud of it. But we have nearly lost half of our viewers over time, probably because everybody was after competitive style Underworlds, and we don't really offer that anymore. And there are a couple of other sources of it that are actually better for us if you want the competitive meta. So fair play to them. They're making great content and really enjoying it. That's Path to Glory and Tabletop Sydney. Well done to them. I'm really glad that they're still getting some hobby mojo out of Underworld. Similarly, our Tuesday night live audience has shrunk. We never got loads of people, but we used to get 40 or 50, and now it's down to sort of between 8 and 10, maybe up to 20 if we're really lucky. And that again is a virtue of our lack of direction. And I suppose in the last few years, people are now going out and about a bit more and having more of a life of their own, and not got nothing to do on a Tuesday night. But Tuesday night live, I still enjoy doing them, but I feel like we are less relevant, and so I understand why people aren't tuning in for that. But because we don't have a lot to say, because we're kind of, again, we're floating from thing to thing. So I want to try and find something that I can latch onto and really enjoy my hobby. Now, I do have a bit of an idea what this might be. I don't know what it means for the channel. I haven't really discussed it with Pete. I discussed it with Pete in a nebulous way, but we'll have to see. And let me explain to you what happened and why I've suddenly kind of become reinvigorated by something which is a little bit of a departure for the channel. We decided that because the viewership of our battle reports was tailing off, and actually the viewership of our discussion pieces was equally high, if not greater, depending on what the subject was, that we perhaps ought to focus our attentions on doing those, still play games but not record them, not edit them, because they take an awful lot of time to edit. Recording a game makes it take a lot longer to play, and then Pete has to do loads and loads of editing. So if people aren't watching it, then it's time that could be spent better elsewhere. We could just play a game and talk about that game, talk about our experiences of the different game mechanics and all that kind of thing. And if we still get the views, it's a lot easier for us and a lot more palatable for you guys, perhaps, if we're getting more views. So I was thinking about what discussion pieces I might do, and this sort of, while I was thinking about it, coincided with the Amazon teaser trailer for the new Rings of Power Lord of the Rings TV series. They announced that it was going to be called the Rings of Power. And I knew it was already going to be set in the Second Age, but this kind of teaser made me think, well, Games Workshop already make the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and they're always kind of tinkering with that. But maybe, what if, I don't know if they do, but what if they have the rights or can acquire the rights to make miniatures around this new Amazon TV series? What miniatures might we see? And I've not really got an idea. I've got a vague idea of what's going on in the Second Age. So I started investigating what they might be. And I suddenly was kind of captured by this stuff. And I was looking on various blogs on the internet and various timelines and wikis and things. And I suddenly remembered how much I enjoyed The Lord of the Rings. I think I'm one of those weird people who I quite like the films. I don't absolutely love them. I love the Fellowship, but the other two I don't like so much. And it almost spoiled my enjoyment of Lord of the Rings. And I haven't read the books for a long time. But I was digging into this lore, which I vaguely remembered, because I used to read everything like 20, 30 years ago. I'd have been, top marks on a Lord of the Rings trivia quiz, all sorts of weird, wonderful stuff I don't know. And this all stuff was all coming back to me. And I suddenly thought, oh, I absolutely love the Lord of the Rings. Why on earth don't I spend more time with the Lord of the Rings? Because you may not agree, but I love the lore in a way that I don't get turned on by Games Workshop lore. I do love the visual aesthetic of the films, and it's a massive part of my life. I had a connection with my dad with the Lord of the Rings. So I really do like Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings. My brother-in-law bought me a Tolkien book for Christmas, the first one I've had in a long time, because I kind of got bored with reading Christopher Tolkien's curated shopping lists or whatever that he was down to by the end. And this book was all about the flora and fauna of Lord of the Rings, and it's really interesting. I've dipped in and out of that. And suddenly the Lord of the Rings is back on for me, and this kind of hobby fulfillment suddenly started to suddenly felt good about maybe playing these games and immersing myself in the Lord of the Rings world, getting excited for the new TV series. And so then I started to look what's out there. There's actually loads. So obviously you've got Tolkien's Middle-earth strategy game. There's the Lord of the Rings Journey in Middle-earth. That's got a few expansions now from Fantasy Flight. I'd actually already backed the One Ring role-playing game. The card game, the Fantasy Flight collectible card game, which I do have a couple of boxes of, has had a revised core set, which I have actually bought, and I didn't bring out. I was going to put that behind me too, but I didn't bring that out with me. And so there's all these Lord of the Rings games. I think Ares games, they do the War of the Ring, which is a great game, I think. I've never played it. It looks great. One of our patrons plays it regularly, well, I say regularly, once a year on Boxing Day. And it looks amazing, but I think that's far, far too long for me to try and play. They're bringing out a War of the Ring card game later this year, which I'm really kind of interested to see. And there's all this Tolkien stuff out there that I kind of want to sink my teeth into. On the back of this, I ordered the revised core set for the Lord of the Rings collectible card game. I joined one of the Facebook groups. There's people on there who are passionate about Tolkien stuff and playing the games and all the esoteric stuff all around the outside. And suddenly I was invigorated and excited by the Lord of the Rings again. And I suddenly felt a spark of hobby fulfillment that I hadn't felt in a long time. What does that mean for the channel? I'm not quite sure. Pete is vaguely interested in the Middle-earth strategy battle game. He loves miniatures games. I think that's more his kind of thing. I'm hoping to dive into the card game, but with my experience of Marvel Champions, I could have thrown good money after bad there, because I have bought quite a lot of that stuff and I just don't get time to play it. It just feels decadent sitting down and playing a game on my own when the house is covered in whatever, especially on top of, not that I have whatever all over the house, especially when on top of trying to cut these videos and write for Geek Dad and all that kind of stuff. But I've got this passion for Tolkien at the moment. I don't know where it's going to go for the channel, but yeah, I think you're going to see some stuff, hopefully, unless Pete says no. I wonder if there's anything you guys from your past you could connect back with, because you've kind of given it up because you thought it was a bit passé, but now you've, with fresh eyes, maybe it's more exciting. And there is a bit of a problem, I think. There is a bit of a tendency in this hobby to look for nostalgia and maybe find quality where there isn't in some of the old stuff. But I think the Lord of the Rings has kind of stood the test of time. So that's where I'm actually quite excited about my Lord of the Rings hobby. I still want to follow up on some MCP stuff. I bought... in this kind of floundering around trying to find out what I want to do. I bought a load of Aeronautica stuff, so I do need to paint that and play a few games of that. But Lord of the Rings is where it's at for me right now, this minute. As I said, I am a bit of a hobby magpie, so maybe come March it won't be anymore, but I do hope I can carry this through. I'm going to go back and maybe read the books as well in amongst my other schedule of books to read. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. I hope just some glimmers of hobby fulfillment for 2022, which I'm quite excited about. Like I say, let me know what you're finding exciting at the moment. Let me know if you love the Lord of the Rings and if you'd like to see some content on the various games that are out there. And we'll see you soon on the Ages of Sigmar. Bye! And I should say, if this is your first visit to the channel, then do please like and subscribe, ring that bell and all that stuff, and say please comment if you've got any suggestions or whatever for the channel. Bye.